Oh, baby, good morning here on the Frisco Friday in 510. You are right on the Comcast Business Text line. Grizzlies are 16-2 without John Morant. 16-2. Yeah, 16-2, Shasky.
Was that?
The more you know.
That's not this year. That's including last year.
That's this season.
That's just this year.
Yeah, this season. Yeah. I'm looking at StatMuse right now.
I thought it was 12-4.
16-2. Wow, unbelievable.
Well,
Unbelievable.
I'm wrong. You were right.
Shout out to everybody getting off of work, your graveyard shift, getting ready for work, getting to work. YouTube, Twitch, Comcast Business Text line. What is up? Langford, Mauser filling in for Lutman, who is shoe shopping again. We got to give him some kicks. Those Filas or Filas, whatever he said, they were not it. They were not it. Hopefully Evan Webeck is not wearing Filas. Well, he's making good money now. He's not a new Giants beat writer for the Mercury News, and we're going to get into Rodon's debut as a Giant. We're going to get into everything, the bullpen, the lineup. Evan, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Roast. New Giants beat writer for the Mercury News, filling in for the great Kerry Crowley. How you doing, man? Where you from? Who are you? Let us know who you are.
Thanks for having me on. Excited to make my debut here on the Morning Roast, guys. Right now, I'm just trying to avoid road rage as much as I can on my way to Scottsdale Stadium down here in Arizona. It's supposed to be the hottest day of the spring so far, getting up in the 90s down here in Scottsdale. But yeah, excited to get started here at the Mercury News. Been on it, been at it for about 3 weeks now down here in Arizona, getting a first-hand look at the Giants for this season.
All right, you a Bay guy? Where you from? You a Bay Area guy? Where you from?
West Coast guy. My dad actually grew up in Marin County, but I was raised just north of Seattle.
Oh, nice.
Tragically, as a Mariners fan.
Oh yeah, that's
Marin
rough.
County, family money. Now we know a a more about them.
Yeah, already. So you really don't need to cover the Giants. You're just doing it for fun. You're doing it to get out the house.
Let's get into these Giants. No, on the real, because I'm a diehard Giant fan. I bleed black and orange, and Bonta does as well. But I'm sick over just where this team is at right now. We've been waiting for these young prospects to come through. I'm looking at the big league club. I'm like, you just lost a generational player in Buster Posey. You didn't want to give Chris Bryant the 7 years. I probably wouldn't have gone 6-7 years on him either. I'm okay with that. But there's a gaping hole in terms of leadership, veteran play, and they just got platoons across the board. They're platooning so many positions. How can they even come close to replicating what they did last year, winning 107 games?
Well, it's crazy. You see them stand pat just basically throughout this offseason, the biggest moves being Carlos Rodon, $44 million, Jock Peterson, $6 million, kind of supplementing the lineup that won 107 games while it loses Buster Posey, Chris Bryant. And then you look at the other side of the division, just a few hundred miles south in Los Angeles, and they go out there. And sure, they lose Corey Seager, but they go out and add Freddie Freeman to that lineup. And, 1 through 9, there's 9 All-Stars in that lineup in Los Angeles that, remember, won 106 games last year and has a lot less chances for some regression to the mean that seems a lot more likely to happen in San Francisco. But you look at what Farhan Zaidi's done in his tenure in San Francisco and his track record before that, and you have to put some trust in Farhan and his ability to create a roster and capitalize on the best matchups out there, finding these diamonds in the rough, diamonds in Darren rough, if you will.
Yeah.
But yeah, 107 wins. It's hard to expect them to replicate something that had never happened in franchise history before until last season. One of the best seasons in regular season Major League history.
So,
frankly.
Evan,
it's just something that.
What's going on right now? Because I'm looking at this team, like, again, no Buster, no Chris Bryant. I haven't even seen Crawford on my TV yet. I haven't seen Longoria. I believe he hasn't even taken like a game at bat yet. Has Brandon Belt not taken? We're like 2 weeks away. Are these guys going to play anytime this week?
Shasky, relax.
I'm serious.
Relax. It's spring training. Evan, tell this guy, pump the brakes. The vets are going to be fine.
Yeah, no Longo, no Belt yet. Crawford just made his spring debut a couple days ago. We're just starting to see members of the starting rotation get their first looks of the spring. And then again, meanwhile, you look at, I hate to keep bringing this up, you look to Los Angeles and you've got guys like Walker Buehler and Max Scherzer going like 4 or 5 innings already this spring.
I saw Freddie Freeman hit an RBI single the other day. I'm like, where's my guy? Where's the captain? He's talking big on social media. Taking that bat, doggy.
Oh, gosh.
But the Giants are really big on these non-game reps. They think it's a way to get guys up to game speed without necessarily impacting their conditioning so much and keeping them fresh for the 162-game season. And that's something that has to be taken into account when you look at a roster that's counting on Brandon Bell, Brandon Crawford, Evan Longoria, these guys who are in their mid to late 30s who had, in some cases, career years last year and are going to be asked to replicate those numbers if the Giants are going to be able to contend again this year.
All right, Evan Webeck, new Giants beat writer for the Mercury News. Evan Webeck. Yeah, no, we like it so far. I like it so far. What about Carlos Rodon? Should we like what he's doing so far? He made his debut the other day against his former team. How'd he look? What was the velocity at? What can we expect from him this season?
Yeah, I mean, Rodon looks primed to slot right into that kind of Kevin Gosman role right behind Logan Webb in the rotation. The veteran arm who's got gas, he's got great stuff, who maybe has had some bumps and bruises and stumbles throughout his career, but the Giants are really hopeful and optimistic that they can get the most out of him with their pitching coaches and their system here. And Rodon's a guy who had a career year last year, and that actually came under the tutelage of a former Andrew Bailey disciple, Ethan Katz. Andrew Bailey being the Giants pitching coach who's brought so much out of their current staff. Rodon worked closely with Katz last year and he finished, I think, fifth in Cy Young voting, but he just wasn't able to finish the year because of shoulder durability. He had only pitched, I think, fewer than 100 innings the past two seasons combined. So they're taking a chance on Rodon's health and his durability to be able to replicate that success while also still staying healthy the rest of the season. But when you look at the pure stuff, I mean, the dude's got gas, man. That fastball, you can literally see it rise as it flies toward the hitter. It's pretty impressive. I did not get a chance to see him in Glendale yesterday, although all reports were stellar. I don't think he gave up a run and struck out a few batters over a couple innings, but I did see a few of his live bullpen sessions, and he was making Giants hitters look silly, which always begs the question, right? Like, how does that make you feel?
Yeah,
right.
Well, that's my question. Let's rat-a-tat-tat some of these positions real quick, because you're down there, I'm not. They've only broadcasted, I believe, 2 or 3 games Friday night, which I watched the whole way through. Okay, let's rat-a-tat-tat these positions. Who's your starting opening day catcher?
That's a good question. I don't think there's a chance it's not Joey Bart on opening day, but I do think you're going to see a timeshare throughout the season. It seems like that's kind of the operating philosophy here, is they look to establish more trust in Bart.
A little Kurt Casale and Bart.
Or Auerbach?
Auerbach, huh?
I like Auerbach. Could he make the team?
Bet he doesn't make the team out of spring, but I wouldn't be surprised if he sees some action later this season. He's a dude they love with his versatility. He's like basically a Craig Biggio prototype. The dude could play second base, anywhere else in the infield too, and also line up behind the plate as a legit catcher.
Yeah, I liked him. He had the one knee down. All right, let's go to second base. Where's Tommy La Stella out with the Achilles? Who's the other platoon guy? Like, what are they doing at second base?
Yeah, La Stella, all reports are he's well ahead of schedule. The surgery sounded a lot scarier than it actually was. It wasn't a full Achilles repair. They were just removing a sheath, if you want to get into, I guess, medical terms, that protects the tendon that had become inflamed. So he's running, he's hitting. He might not be ready for opening day, but I would expect him to be ready at some point in April. That's actually a really interesting position battle. Who's going to line up next to La Stella on the other side of that platoon? Both Mauricio Dubon and Tyro Estrada are out of options. The organization likes both of them. We've been seeing Dubon get a lot more playing time in spring, but they love what they saw from Estrada last season, and my gut tells me they're just giving Dubon a chance to win that role back from Estrada, who I think has the upper hand right now.
Yeah, they had a second-round pick who had Matt Swag up there the other day, blonde-haired kid with hair flowing out the helmet. I forget his name. Let's go to center field. Who's the center fielder opening day?
Yeah, Steven Duggar is kind of the guy right now. It kind of depends on if they want to put a glove in center field or play the platoons better. Darren Ruff is a guy who I think is going to get a lot more at-bats against righties this year, and he's a guy who would slot into left, and maybe you move Yastrzemski into center and Peterson into right. That obviously is not an ideal defensive lineup, but it gets you a little bit more offensive firepower in there for a team that right now is projected to have the worst lineup in the National League by Pagoda projection.
Well, you know what, Evan? Let's move on from the lineup because you're depressing me. Shasky's depressing me. platoon this and platoon that, Duggar this, and I'm depressed right now. So let's talk about something that will enlighten me on a
Charlie
Friday
Sheen's
morning.
going to be out and playing center field.
Yeah,
platoon.
I mean, I know Willie Mays Hayes. Who knows, man? But Evan, you're all over this lineup. Look. Bullpen. That's the strong suit of this team, I feel like. They've got a lot of arms in that bullpen. Who do you see finish in the ninth inning? Or do you see a platoon situation when it comes to saves? I mean, I'm not even trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a platoon situation when it comes to saving games?
It literally is, Bonta. It platoons up and down. If they could platoon the starting rotation, they might even do that.
Damn.
You saw Camilo Doval finish the season last year. I think he threw something like 20 straight shutout innings throughout September and October until that last outing against the Dodgers in the NLDS. And he would kind of be the guy you would expect to slot into the closer's role, but they've also got Jake McGee, a veteran, Tyler Rogers, a guy who was kind of their go-to setup man, another young, promising arm in the bullpen. It sounds like it's going to be a kind of a rotating cast of those three at the back end of the bullpen for now. Maybe one of them emerges, but Kapler, I mean, you know the way he plays the matchups. He loves to have that flexibility, and if he's got three guys who are comfortable closing games coming into the ninth inning, he's probably going to make the most of it for the whole season, I imagine.
Man, Evan, hell of a debut on a morning roast. I don't feel excited about Giants baseball right now.
I am.
After that one. Well, no, Shasky's over. Don't let this don't let Shasky fool you, Evan. He's acting like he's excited, but you hear him pounding tables during the interviews. Did you see what I got to work with every morning?
Hey, maybe nothing to get excited about from platoons up and down the lineup, but you got to remember those platoons up and down the lineup won 107 games last year. I think we were all having a good amount of fun last September.
We were, but you got to win a playoff series. Like platoons don't win playoff series; studs do. So we'll have this conversation again because I have an Elliot Ramos conversation with you that is going to be cooking. Can you please keep your eye on him for me? I want to talk to you about him in about a week or so.
Keep your eye on Ramos, but keep your eyes on the road. We want you to get to Scottsdale Stadium safely. All right.
Pulled in safe and sound right into the parking garage.
All right.
There we go.
All right, Evan.
Thanks,
good
buddy.
stuff, man. We look forward to reading you at the Mercury News, man. Congratulations on the
hit
gig.
that follow.
We will definitely hit that follow. Evan Webeck here on the Morning Roast. Have fun, Evan. Good stuff.
Okay, thanks for having me. Anytime.
Evan Webeck, Morning Roast debut, and I've got
Why
a
are
headache.
you sad?
I've got a headache hearing about the lineup. Evan said it multiple times. Yeah, you may have the worst lineup in the National League. Oh, yeah, they're going to platoon here, and they're going to platoon there, and they're going to platoon here, and they're going to platoon there, and they're going to platoon in the bullpen. They're going to platoon everywhere. They got no dudes.
They would platoon the rotation.
You got no dudes. You got no dudes.
But here's the thing.
Like, Freddie Freeman's playing with the Dodgers.
I know.
He could be their seventh hitter.
I know.
Got Brandon Belt batting third for the Giants.
No, he hasn't batted this spring. He hasn't had a live bullet game. I was talking with Evan Giddings, who is the producer for Steiny and Guru.
And also the voice of the Bay Area Panthers.
Look at you, forward promoting
him and Mark Randy.
Absolutely.
Come on now. Show the young bucks some love.
And he's a ball player. And we were just talking about the whole platoon thing, and it drives me absolutely insane. And he made a great point, because I know what Mark Wheeler is going to say when he comes in here in about 25, 30 minutes.
What is he
He's going
say?
to come and say, well, platooning is how you win 107 games. And he's going to shove that down my throat. And yes, it worked last year. And it has worked for the A's for a long time. It's worked for a lot of different clubs. But then you get into the playoffs. Now, you can make the argument, well, Joe, you don't even get into the playoffs if you don't platoon. All right, I hear you. It's a great strategy. But once you get into a 5 or a 7-game series, B, you said it right there. It's about what?
It's about having some dudes.
Okay, so in Game 5, for example, we went Logan Webb, our dude on the mound, and he balled out. And then their dude came in the second inning, Urias, because they did the starter thing. Remember the whole crazy lineup thing? And then what did that dude do? He went as far as he could go and handed the ball to who? I don't know, the greatest Dodger closer of all time in Kenley Jensen.
Who's now an Atlanta Brave.
All right, and then after that dude struck out Buster Posey for his last at-bat ever, okay? Our dude struck out, their dude shoved. What did they hand the ball to next? Who did they hand the ball to next? I don't know. Some dude by the name of Max Scherzer, the greatest free agent signing in the history of baseball.
Well, Barry Bonds is greatest free agent.
Well, I'm talking about $300 million contracts. My bad. I should have prefaced that. In terms of these hundreds of millions of dollars of contracts, the Cy Youngs that he had with the Nationals and then winning it all.
Yeah. No, big money contract was a good contract.
Dudes won it all. Like the dudes did. And I feel like this platoon thing, although it does work throughout the regular season, when are the dudes coming up? Like, when are the dudes coming up? And that's why I'm so fascinated with the Elliot Ramos thing, because I've been hearing about him for 4 straight years, since 2018. And then I watch him, and I'm like, he don't look like a dude to me.
If you sound fired up right now.
I am.
And you are fired up about the lack of power, lack of pop, possibly with this Giants lineup. But how about this?
I care about.
How about this? Oh, it's not about feelings. You told me yesterday it's not about feelings when it comes to sport.
Well,
who cares
they're
who you
in
care about?
championship mode.
Who cares? Well, you know who else is in championship mode? The LA Dodgers. Hear from Dave Roberts. Listen to this.
The Dodgers will win the World Series if
we play a full season and there is a postseason.
Wait.
We are winning the World Series in 2022.
So,
but I know where you're going with that.
No,
we're winning the World Series this year. Put it on record.
You are winning the World Series.
We are winning the World Series. That's our focus. That's our goal. But to your question, we are winning the World Series if our starting staff stays healthy. I know that's vague, but I don't want to.
And then
that's my answer.
Okay, but you
can dig in a little bit on that, but I think it's about our starting pitching. Just keeping our guys healthy.
So I gotta say, just to hear a baseball guy be so bold, so refreshing, right? Because you never get anything like that in baseball these days. That's refreshing, number one. Number two, they are in championship or bust mode. Like, that's how he should be looking at it.
You love that?
What?
You like the way he said that?
They should be. They have the highest payroll in the history of the game.
Well, how come it's a problem when Draymond Green says
it? Because, well...
Manager Dave Roberts says it, and a lot of people say Dave Roberts is overrated. They say Dave Roberts shouldn't be managing the Dodgers, and he goes out and says it.
Well,
goes out and says it, and Dodger fan is going crazy. Yeah, championship or bust. Hell yeah, we're winning it. Yeah. Draymond Green says it a couple Mondays ago. Hey, don't matter what seed we're going to be. We're going to win a championship. Well, Bonta Hill say, hell yeah, I like that. Well, and half the people were like, he shouldn't be talking.
Well, no,
so what's the difference?
It's one thing to say at the beginning of the year. What we were saying is he said it after missing 2 months. And it was the first game where he didn't start. He played 20 minutes.
He's a 3-time champ.
Look,
Dave Roberts won a bubble ring.
He's got the credibility. There's no doubt about it. From afar, I'm just saying, in terms of baseball, I appreciated Dave Roberts saying it. And yeah, I'm viewing the two differently for some reason. Because also, Dave Roberts knows if he doesn't win a World Series, he's gone. Like, Bonta, they've been trying to fire him for how many years?
Yeah, I mean, a lot. Hey,
put it on record. Get it on one of your NBC Sports cue cards. Get Dave Roberts says the Dodgers are winning the World Series, because it is not going to happen.
Oh,
Dave.
Hey,
get out of here, Dave.
This is what I'll say about Dave Roberts. He was not the reason that they sat Bellinger against the Red Sox in the first 2 games in the World Series a couple of years ago. That was as I like to go, the spreadsheet with telling you to sit the NLCS MVP in the freaking World Series. How dumb is that? Like, I get the analytics and the platooning. How about, going with your best players,
right,
regardless of the situation?
Look,
how about that?
Dave Roberts saying it with his chest. We're winning the World Series. We're winning the World Series. Let's go to Mike and San Leandro, then we'll get to Brian in PA. Mike, what's happening? You're on the roast.
Hey, great show talking about the Giants, fellas. I couldn't agree more. I mean, think about it. The Dodgers are going to have Max Muncy back with Freddie Freeman, and you don't think they're going to – I mean, the team that played the Giants last year in the playoffs didn't have Max Muncy. That's like taking Buster Posey away from the Giants, which we already did. And he has no energy anyway. So Gabe Kapler's going to struggle this year big time. He's going to go back to that Philadelphia Phillies that all the fans want out of here. He already made a move the other night where he left this one pitcher and he ends up giving up 5 more runs and then has to come back and give him out, then to ring him out. So, Gabe Kapler, like John Wooden says, don't confuse activity for achievement. The Giants achieved nothing last year. Absolutely nothing. They had no hitting the whole year.
Sorry.
They achieved.
Had to get that off.
They achieved.
Come on.
Come on,
Mike.
Achieved.
It's spring trading.
There's levels to things. And B, you're kind of all over this in terms of like the Kapler scrutiny.
Mm-hmm.
When things go awry,
Kapler's getting all the heat.
The spreadsheets tell them to do something.
It's already set up.
Heat for that.
It's already set up. His
blending of the gut and the analytics last year was phenomenal. I cannot knock him. He won me over.
If the Giants struggle, Gabe Kapler's getting all the heat. Why? Because everybody trusts in Farhan. When the Giants were winning games last year, everybody was giving credit to Farhan. And I would just be like, yo, what about Kapler? What about Gabe Kapler? He's the actual manager of the baseball team. But everybody wanted to go upstairs. Oh, Farhan, what a great job. The Giants, this and that. We can't. It's like sacrilegious to criticize Farhan Zaidi. It's unbelievable. And I like Farhan. I like Farhan a lot. But we're already crowning him. They haven't done anything yet in the Giants. They won the division title, which was very impressive. 107 wins. Very impressive. You didn't win the playoff series. You did win the playoff series. Your batters, the guys that you found for the cheap, struggled. Dickerson, Yaz, Flores, Lamont Wade Jr.
Yeah.
It was Kurt Casale, 5 for 76 in that Dodgers series. It was a lot.
Well, I'm looking at this team right now. Catcher, second base. I put third base as a whole. Like, look at the game logs from Longoria. Look at the age. First base will be a hole at some point. We all know Belt had a good year last year when he was out there. He missed half the season.
Yeah.
He missed half the season. Center field, we're going back to Doug. We're going back to Duggar. Duggar's a fourth outfielder. We all know this. Man. Okay, and then you're going to platoon left field. They are platooning 5 spots of your everyday lineup.
I know.
Maybe 6. I mean, Crawford's the guy that you can ride in every day. And then Belt and Longoria, when they're out there, you're going to write them in. Everything else is up for grabs.
Let's go to.
This feels like a holding pattern here.
Dude, we're going to get to Brian and Paula Alton on the other side. Jay in San Jose, stay on hold. We want to get you at 888-957-9570. Let's continue the conversation. We'll get to your calls as we wrap up another week, another fun week of the Morning Roast. You guys are killing it, Roasters, on Twitch and YouTube and the Comcast Business text line. We really appreciate the participation in the show. You guys are always chiming in. You're always keeping us on our toes here at 95.7 The Game. So more coming up on the roast as we wrap up another week on 95.7 The Game.